Number 7 on the agenda, 2017-021, ordinance amending Title 17 zoning, various changes to Res B zoning. Be it ordained that the City of Quincy zoning ordinance be amended and replaced in selected language as follows. In Title 17, City of Quincy zoning ordinance, Section 2.0 district.
Waive the reading.
Yep, okay. Thank you. Courage, Councillor Palmucci.
If I may, on the motion, on the ordinance, or I guess on the motion, right? Move to committee, move to pass. Not looking for passage tonight. I don't know why I forget how to do this after 7 years, but looking to refer this to ordinance committee, refer it to the planning board for consideration. And we ask that it get advertised so we can start the clock and the process on this. I've introduced 2 ordinance changes, both that would affect residential B districts. The purpose of this, and I'll try and be brief. The purpose of this is to take a harder look at what is being done, what type of housing is being created in residential B districts. Right now, our zoning allows for, the zoning calls for single-family residences to be built. So we have residence A, residence B, residence C. Residence A, you can only build single-family housing. We have single-family, two-family, and multifamily. Those are the 3 descriptive types of housing we can build in the City of Quincy, according to our zoning. Residence A, you can only build single-family. Residence B, you can build single-family, two-family, and multifamily. And in residence C, you can build all 3 as well. If you look at it, kind of the hierarchy of the way it is, to me, it seems as though medium density multi-units isn't appropriate in a lot of the residential B zones. If you look at the zoning map, there are some neighborhoods that are encompassed as or zoned as residence B, and you would look at those and you would say, no way should there be multifamily housing built in those areas, because they're predominantly single-family residential neighborhoods. And I think it doesn't, medium density, multi-unit housing makes sense in certain areas of the city, like downtown, close to MBTA stations, residential C areas that have been zoned for this. It doesn't make sense in areas that are predominantly single-family home neighborhoods, family neighborhoods. For me, it was brought most recently to light by some proposals in and around the West Street neighborhood. Although West Street itself may make sense as a residential B district, the subsidiary neighborhoods off of West Street in that area, it doesn't make sense. They're predominantly single-family residential areas. And quite frankly, this is about protecting and ensuring the nature and the character of our residential neighborhoods, our single-family residential neighborhoods. I think over the last several years, the quality of life in some of these areas have been threatened by overdevelopment. More and more, I find particularly, I don't know if it's the same for the other councils, I suspect it is, that my day-to-day issues that I'm hearing from the constituents about and I'm working on have to do with development, has to do with traffic, has to do with think pedestrian safety, things of that nature, that I think are related to the development boom that we've seen in the city. So there's 2 pieces of legislation here tonight. One is a moratorium that would call for a halt to any multi-units being built in a residential B neighborhood. So what that would entail, or what I envision that would entail, is in a residential B, you could continue to build single-family homes. You could continue to build 2-family homes, but what you couldn't build is higher density multi-unit buildings. So anyone who lives in a residential B, you want to add a porch, you want to add an addition to your house to make your home, single-family home bigger or your 2-family bigger, you could still do that. This wouldn't prevent anyone from doing anything like that, but it would prevent anyone who's buying into a residential B property to tear down a single-family home, tear down a 2-family, and put up multiple townhouses or a big condo building. So there's two pieces. The other one, the zoning change, would say that residential B isn't a desirable location for multifamily medium density development. I did add, in that legislation, I add a third or a fourth category that we don't currently have, which is a 3-family. So some zoning codes have single family, 2-family, 3-family, and then multifamily is anything over a 3-family. In our zoning code, we have single family, 2-family, and then multifamily is anything 2 units and over. I think it's worthy of a consideration by this body to say, maybe in residential B areas, which is the middle, residential A, residential B, residential C, that a 3-family should be the limit. The 3 units should be the limit of what we have in a residential B district. If you want to have multi-units, if you want to have higher density, that's more for residential C districts. And I would encourage everyone to take a look at the maps of the zoning, the GIS, the zoning overlay. And there's pockets of residential B all across the city, but predominantly where I think this would be the most meaningful and where you have the highest proportion of residential B zoning is in West Quincy, North Quincy, and Quincy Point. If you look at the map, there are just huge red blocks of neighborhoods that are residential B. And if you just, throw a dart on the map, look at a neighborhood, more often than not, you're going to see that neighborhood that's zoned residential B is predominantly a single-family neighborhood. And you would never think that it would make sense that a multi-unit, more than two residential units, but medium density or multi-units would go into that neighborhood. It just wouldn't be consistent with the nature and the character of some of these single-family neighborhoods. So I think this is a reasonable change to zoning. I think at the very least, this is a conversation we should be having at the council with the development that's happening in the city. I think it's a good opportunity, this presents a good opportunity for us to have a discussion, to kind of debate and engage in this issue with the help of the planning department, the planning board, the administration, and the public in general, whether they be builders or residents in the city, to kind of have a broader discussion. Maybe we don't change Residence B. Maybe we say we like it the way it is. Maybe we change it. Maybe we change it to something different than what I've offered here. But I think we should be having this debate up here, and my intention is to make some changes to what we allow for in residential B. So with that, I would move this to the ordinance committee. And as I said, I asked it to go to the planning board. We advertise it.
Okay, motion to move that. Motion to move to ordinance made by Councillor Palmucci, seconded by Councillor Liang. All those in favor? Great.